WEIZE sent me a 48V 100Ah server rack battery for a review. In this video, I will do an unboxing and also show what the server rack battery looks like on the inside. In a follow-up video, I will hook it up to a 5kW inverter and demonstrate how it performs. The box look a little beat up, but I think everything should be fine. It looks like there is a 5-year warranty with the server rack battery. In this booklet, there's a QR code you can scan to download the app with step-by-step guide. This is the user manual as well as maintenance. Again, it looks like it comes with a 5-year warranty. This bag also includes all the fastener for the battery terminal as well as the side bracket. This is what the side brackets looks like. They feel pretty sturdy. The handle is removable. They are fastened by 2 screws. There are 4 battery terminal covers, 2 in black, 2 in red. I really like the battery wire size provided. A lot of the competitor usually provide smaller wire gauge. Here is an example of what they usually looks like. They usually provide a 4 or 6 gauge wire. The WEIZE server rack battery come with a 2 gauge wire. There is also a communication cable that go from battery to battery. The last wire is for grounding from battery to battery. Let's remove the top form to see the condition of the battery. They did a great job with packaging. I really like those extra protection at each corner that should reduce damage during transition. Although the battery looks great, it looks like it took a drop at some point. You can see how it leave a mark on the cardboard. I think it should be fine. This battery is around 103 pounds. I decided to install the handle before taking it out of the box. Each side bracket takes 4 screws. This is a thick cardboard the battery came in. They are made of 7 individual sheets. This is the bottom corner where the battery took a drop. I don't think it reached any of the cells, so it should not cause any issues. Now let's take a look at the front side of the battery. You have 2 positive terminal and 2 negative terminal. This is a Bluetooth server rack battery. Here is the DC breaker with the power button. You got your on off, run, alarm, as well as your battery percentage light indicator, reset button, dip switch, and dry contact. CAN or S for 85 or S to 32. The last two are for battery communication. And finally, you got your ground terminal at the bottom right corner. Let's switch on the DC breaker and press the power button. I wanted to confirm everything was working properly before taking a look inside the unit. I like how the battery terminal fastener are not poking out. There's no way they can come in contact with your wire lug. Specification label is 100 amp hour, total capacity 5120 watt hour. This battery was tested and verified at 77 degree Fahrenheit at 50 amp. It's completely depleted at 40 volt and it's fully charged at 58.4 volt. Maximum continuous charge and discharge current is 100 amp. For the short circuit, the battery can spike up to 1500 amp if there's a catastrophic direct short circuit. If that ever happens, the BMS will detect the danger and shut off output within 200 milliseconds to prevent a fire or explosion. Here is the model of the battery, LFP 48100. Charging voltage 58.4. Dimension 21.77 by 19.02 by 5.63 inches. This battery weighs 103.6 pounds. It can be charged between 32 and 131 degrees Fahrenheit. It can be discharged between -4 and 131 degrees Fahrenheit. This battery is ETL certified, but it is not UL certified. I just removed the top cover of the battery and the entire surface is covered with fiberboard for insulation. If there are ever any direct heat from the top, it will prevent any short circuit. I am not sure if those are self-clenching nuts, but they are a nice addition in here. They are used throughout this whole server rack battery. Instead of just using the sheet of metal to screw in, they are using those instead, which feel more sturdy. All of the battery are surrounded by metal support that are soldered in place. In between the battery and the support are more fiber boards. And on top of the two rows of each of the battery cells, there are two middle brackets to keep everything secure. They did a really good job with wire management. They use zip tie to keep everything neat and tidy. There are four temperature sensors in here, each in one corner. I tried to see what type of cell they were using in here, but I was not able to see any QR code to scan. And the battery bus bar are soldered in with a hump in the middle for stress release. This is the negative lead going to the BMS. This looks like two sets of 4-gauge wires. Because the BMS have two points of connection, they have to double the wire at a lower gauge. Those are the negative wires from the BMS to the negative terminal. A 2-gauge wire connects the battery to the DC breaker, then from the DC breaker to the positive terminal. I think they did a good job keeping those wires neat and tidy, and notice most of those wires have wire sleeve on them to keep them from getting damaged. I was able to pull out the BMS. It was fastened in place by two bolts. Here is the model number if you're interested. It is a JBD BMS. If you're interested in seeing how to set up the Bluetooth app, I will leave a link in the description below. Looking back at where the battery took a hit, you can see there's plenty of space. There's no way this tiny dent could affect the battery cell. If you're interested in learning more about this battery, you can use the link below. And if you decide to buy it, you can get $120 off with my coupon code in the description below for a limited time. I plan to make a follow-up video where I hook up this battery to a 5 kilowatt inverter to see how it performs. I hook it up to my existing solar setup so I can charge it to 100% for the test. I hope this video was informative. If you like this video, you might enjoy the recommended videos. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. See you in the next video.